Hi guys! Today I will be doing a DIY inspired by Toothless from the movie How to Train Your Dragon. I went to watch the second movie recently and I loved it, so I decided to do this. The end result looks really weird and maybe a little bit scary because it does not look like Toothless at all, so I hope you will brace yourself while watching this video. I was having some difficulty, so please bear with me and I will explain why at the end of the video. The items I used are a pair of scissors, fabric glue, a piece of chalk to mark out, red, green, and black fabric, and the shirt itself. Other optional items include a ruler to measure and a notepad as a backing. Here are some extra information about the fabrics. They are of felt material and I got them at the dollar store. The size of the black fabric is 27 by 23 inches. I bought extra black fabric for other users, so it is bigger than the others. The red and green fabrics are both 7 by 7 inches. For the green and red fabric, it depends on how many times you are going to have a trial and error to see how Toothless looks. If not, 7 by 7 inches can get used up easily. Here are the fabrics I have. I wasn't too sure which shade of green and red I wanted to use for his eyes and tongue. I thought his eyes were kind of pale-ish light green, but I decided to use something brighter for this DIY just for the color contrast against black. The same goes for his tongue. His tongue is pale pink, but I went with red for a brighter contrast. This step is optional, but as a precautionary measure, you may like to wash the new fabric just in case the dye comes off or it shrinks depending on what type you get. I placed a piece of cardboard in the shirt as a backing just so the glue will not seep through later on. I used fabric glue just because I am sewing challenged, but if you are able to sew, that would be even better. Then, using some chalk, I marked out where to place his eyes and mouth. Next, cut out 2 circles of black fabric for his pupils. You can choose to use a ruler to measure, but you do not need to be that specific. As long as both eyes are equal, it should be fine. According to the movie, when Toothless is being playful, his pupils dilate, and if he's angry or fierce, his pupils turn into slits. I wasn't too sure the exact shape of Toothless' eyes, but after looking at this picture, I went with ovals. Cut 2 ovals of green fabric for his eyes. After cutting the first eye out, I use it as a reference for the second eye. This is so that both sizes would be the same. I did his mouth and tongue, but I wasn't sure how I should have done it since he is toothless, so I could have done his mouth like this, but I decided to cut it into a small tongue from this picture. As a precautionary measure, I assembled the pieces together on the shirt before actually gluing it down to see how it looks. Now, when I actually assembled it, I thought it looked really weird and was completely different from Toothless. Honestly, it looked a lot better in my head. So I decided to try again. At first, I thought the problem was with the mouth. So instead of just the tongue, I decided to cut the whole mouth. Since he was toothless, I added a piece of black fabric. When I assembled the whole face together again, it turned out like this, and this looks pretty scary. It actually looks a little bit freaky and scary, like tons of red lipstick on Toothless. I kept trying and readjusting it, but it still just didn't look right. Then I decided to change the eyes. Instead of the teardrop oval shape, I made it rounder. So using the same steps previously for his eyes, I cut more green fabric. Once I was done and put it together, it looked okay, better than the red lips, but I kept trying with different shapes. So I ended up with an oval teardrop shape, a circle, and a diamond-ish sort of shape. I also tried doing his pupils again, and this time made it more like slits. All in all, I ended with 2 types of pupils, 3 types of eyes, a mouth, and a tongue. After rearranging and adjusting the shapes, I ended up with this. I know this still looks different from Toothless and a little bit weird, but I decided to put up the video anyway just to share it with you guys. Once I am satisfied with the appearance, I take my fabric glue and glue it on the shirt. I glued the pieces because I am sewing challenged, but if you are able to sew it, that would be even better. To conclude, this DIY was a lot harder than what I thought it would be. It looked great in my head, but when I actually did it, Toothless looked plain weird. I was having some problems, but I just hope the video didn't scare you in any way. I know I'm not the best artist, but this was what I ended up with. That's it for this video. I hope you guys will like it. Feel free to leave any comments or suggestions below, and I will talk to y'all soon.